Okay, so we're almost done. This next video in EKG, what we're going to talk about now is precordial leads. Or these are also called chest leads. Got this little picture from Wikipedia, so it's Creative Commons. It shows you where those leads are. I should probably make this a little bit big. This is V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, and usually there's just a V6. This figure has a V7, but there's usually just a V6. That's how we get to 12 leads. So when we're down here on the trace, we have lead 1, lead 2, lead 3 that we've already covered. We've got our augmented leads, which are AVR, AVL, and AVF. Then we have our 6 precordial leads, so V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, V6, and so that's our 12 leads. In order to understand precordial leads, we kind of have to visualize the heart in the transverse plane. So if we're looking straight down at the heart, it's a bit of an odd view, but it would look something like this. If you've ever cut open a sheep heart, or if you've ever been lucky enough to have a human specimen, you'll know that the left ventricle is much thicker than the right ventricle. And so we're cutting right through the ventricles. And again, this would be the left ventricle on this side, which has a much thicker heart wall, and this would be the right ventricle. I'm going to leave it up to you, someone, to explore all of the voltage changes and how they'll look in the precordial leads. I'll give you a little head start, which is, remember that atrial depolarization starts in the atria and moves in this direction. Or atrial depolarization moves in this direction. But by and large, the main axis, basically a precordial lead is going to be kind of like QRS axis, because we're going to go around in this direction. But what we really care about is the sum of that, kind of like we just cared about the sum of that with the QRS axis. We kind of care about the sum of the flow when we're looking at the precordial leads. We expect the current to flow, the voltage to flow from the right towards the left, because the left has much more muscle. How do we pick up this flow? And let's orient these leads kind of like we had an Einthoven's triangle. We got the same kind of thing now, only now our leads go in one direction. And these may not be precisely accurate because I'm doing it. The angles could be a little bit off. Let me just put it that way. Do it the best I can. It's V4. V5. V6. So hopefully already you can kind of get the idea that this is a good way to measure, kind of like we did with QRS axis, what direction things are flowing. Because we expect, if voltage is flowing in the proper direction through the heart, to see a large positive in V6. Again, these leads work just the same as leads 1, 2, and 3. If the voltage changes in the direction of the lead, it goes up on the trace. If it's parallel to the lead, then that lead will see it the best. So V6 we would expect to have a normal, very large QRS complex. We would expect, since lead 3 is kind of perpendicular to our flow, we'd expect V3 to be the smallest. And that's kind of isoelectric. So if there's any kind of changes, just like with QRS axis, if this were to shift in this direction, or if it were to shift in this direction, it would indicate that there's changes in the muscle. And it could be infarct, or it could be hypertrophy. I don't think I'm going to spend the time to do that in this, but I think based on your understanding of the QRS axis, you can kind of figure that out. But if this switches in this direction, it means there's a hypertrophy here, or it means there's an infarct on this side. And if it shifted in this direction, then we would expect a large negative in V3. So we'd expect the size of V3 to change. We'd expect it to go negative. So I don't think I'm going to go into that into more detail. I'm a little concerned because this movie is getting long, and I think you can really figure it out by looking or thinking in terms of the QRS axis. That this axis is going to shift based on muscle size or muscle thickness, and then you're going to see that shift by how the lead's big enough. Do they switch negative? Do they become more perpendicular? And so then the peak is smaller. In any case, you can kind of see the shift in the axis by noting the direction of the precordial leads and the size of the precordial leads. Thank you.